Hello. In this video we'll learn techniques to achieve a headstand, Sirsasana. In Iyengar yoga there's a strong emphasis on being upside down or inverted, and shoulder stand and headstand are two very important group of poses. Headstand is considered as the king of all asanas. So we'll first look at how to progress towards a headstand. We'll also talk about people who can't do a headstand. You know, some people might have issues with shoulders or neck, and it might not be appropriate to go up into a headstand. So we'll do that into the second part of the video. The first preparation, we'll have our hands interlocked and our head off the floor. I'll demonstrate the interlocking of the hands first. So from the little fingers, interlock your hands, and we're going to place our thumbs together. So the fleshy parts of the thumb in this one is going to be together. The elbows are not too wide, so I can hold the tip of my elbows. My bottom wrist is pressed down, and in a moment I'm going to straighten my legs with my shoulders off the floor. So I'll demonstrate it through the side. To measure your distance, have your heels to the wall, and I'm going to use a block just behind me to measure my distance to the wall. Now I'm going to put the block to the side. I'm actually going to put it the other way so that you can see what I'm doing. And that will be my elbows up. So I hold my elbows so that they're not too wide. They should be under my shoulders. Now I interlock my hands. The thumb side is pressed against each other. Wrist is pressed down, outer elbows come towards each other, my forearm is pressed down. As my forearm is pressed down, my shoulders are lifting up away from the ears and up towards the ceiling. Now straighten my legs. What happened to my elbows? Are they wider? I can press my outer elbows down and in. My forearm is pressed down, my bottom wrist is pressed down. My head is off the floor. My shoulders will want to come forward, so I have to press my forearm down to lift the shoulders up and keep the shoulders moving back towards the wall. Now keeping that action, I can step up the wall. Now press my forearms, my shoulders are moving back towards the wall, back of the knees is open. My shoulder blades are extending up towards the ceiling. My legs are pressed into the wall, the back of my knees is open, the back of my thighs is pressed up towards the ceiling. Come down. In between, you can rest in forward Virasana. Now this preparation is quite strong for the arms. It's actually stronger than the full headstand, Sirsasana. Inhale. Now we're going to do it with interlocking the hands the other way. So same distance, grab hold of the elbows, interlock your hands and then re-interlock them from the little finger so that it's doing it the other way. It might feel a bit weird, but it's good to practice both sides. Elbows not too wide. So it's important as you step up to make sure your base is still the same. Are the elbows pressed down, wrist pressed down. Straighten the legs. Keep the forearm pressed down, shoulders moving towards the wall, not away from the wall. Now what happens to your base as you step up? Did your elbows become wider? Keep pressing the elbows down, keeping the elbows towards each other, forearms pressed down. Lift the shoulders up towards the seat bones, press the thighs up towards the ceiling. And come down. Forward Virasana. Arms straight, shoulders away from the ears. And come up. So this has got a strong action for the shoulders. It's harder than the full headstand. It's actually quite easy for some people to go up into a headstand. But if you do it before you're really ready to have the right technique, you can hurt your neck, which we really don't want to happen. Okay, the next phase, we're going to need 3 blocks. You might only have a couple of blocks at home, so I'm going to demonstrate with 2 blocks and show you what to do with another block. So I'll get another block. So let's pretend I've only got 2 blocks. So I'm going to use some books stacked on top of each other. I've got a series of yoga books here. So those books, I'm going to place them down. You see they're about the same height of a block. Now from there, I'm going to put a second block facing up. And the third block will be on top, sticking out. There's a couple of ways to do it. That block could be like that, or that block could be this way. This way will make you lift your shoulders by yourself more. This flat way will hold your shoulders up. So either way is good to practice. I'm just going to demonstrate like that. Now again, grab hold of the elbows not too wide. I interlock my hands and my fingers are touching the bottom block or the book. Now from there, in this one, your head is going to go down on the floor. So I'm going to bring my head down until the back of my neck is quite long and the top of my head is touching the ground. From there, I'm going to straighten my legs and walk in until I find that block. Now the block is forcing my shoulders to stay, in this case, away from the wall. Earlier we were the other way, so we wanted to be towards the wall. I'll do it again, demonstrating again. Now it's the top of the head that is on the floor. A big mistake in headstand is to have the head back a bit and the front of the head is touching the wall. So you really want to lengthen the back of the neck, and as you interlock your hands, you make a little cup which is the same shape as the back of your head. So as a preparation, you can put your hands behind your back, interlock your hands, and see what shape, feel the shape of the back of your head. Now bring the elbows towards each other, and already here you can slide the shoulders down towards the ground and lift the elbows up towards the ceiling. A lot of people tend to lift the shoulders up. You want to slide the shoulders down, lift the shoulders up towards the ceiling. So now we'll do the same but upside down. I'm just going to change my fingers just for the sake of it. Little finger change. Place my hands down, lengthen the back of the neck, place the top of the head down, elbows not too wide, and what happens to my elbows as I straighten the legs? So I press my elbows down, outer elbows down, bottom wrist press down. And then as the forearm is pressing down, can you feel the shoulders lifting up towards the ceiling? Eventually, you don't have to press the forearms down so much. Some people press so much they almost feel they shouldn't have any weight on their head. What will hurt your neck is not so much as putting weight off the head, but it's by not lifting the shoulders. So feel right shoulder lifted, left shoulder lifted, and we learn by pressing the forearm down, but eventually we learn to just lift the shoulder blade up towards the ceiling without so much pressure in the forearm. Now from there, you can bring the feet together, you can raise one leg. What happens to your shoulder? Right shoulder, left shoulder lifted. Press the forearm down. In a headstand, there's a lot of focus, especially as we go upside down. Sometimes it's hard to feel what the body is doing. Then change. Come down, raise the other leg. Right shoulder, left shoulder, which one is dropping a bit there? Keep the top leg lifted and extend it up. Keeping lifting the shoulders, release the legs. and slowly come down. Forward Virasana. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, come up. So different things get in the way. Some people might have stiff shoulders and you might need to work on shoulder stretches to be able to, get your arms a little bit more mobile and your shoulders lifting up. I'm not going to go through that today, but as we go through classes, you'll learn some shoulder stretches, and maybe for you to be able to do a headstand, it's more the stretching of the shoulders. Some shoulders that people have got weak arms, and you will need to strengthen your arms. Shoulder stand is the best pose when we Shavangasana. So usually we learn Savangasana first and then Sirsasana, headstand, because our arms get strong. Also, all the arm poses, like a hand, dog pose, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, headstand, all of that will strengthen the arms. Some people have got tight hamstrings, and that can make it difficult to go up into a headstand. So, you might need to work onto whatever poses it is, leg stretches, standing poses, to get your hamstring stretching a little bit. All right, from there, I'll show you how to go up the first few times. Let's say you're comfortable in the pose and now you're ready to go up a little bit more. So same thing, interlock my hands. Now this time, the first time you do it, you come a little bit closer to the wall. Fingers not close, not touching the wall, but close to the wall. Elbows press down. Again, outer elbows towards each other, wrist press down. I've made the little cup with my hand, lengthen the back of the head, lift the shoulders up and walk in. Now I don't have the block there to keep my shoulders away from the wall, but I've done the preparation enough to remember to keep my shoulders away from the wall. Forearm press down, shoulders lifted. And the first few times you come up, you can try with the legs bent and just go hopping towards the wall. And as you're hopping, you kind of want to get your buttocks towards the wall. So just hopping with the legs bent, you might bounce on and off the wall. Just try that a few times. Sometimes as you hop in, we forget our shoulders. So you keep the shoulders lifted, elbows towards each other, not too wide, wrist press down. Once you're there, you can straighten your legs. Then your buttocks will move away from the wall. And then come down, legs straight or legs bent. See if you can come down slowly rather than crash down. So as you start doing it, you might stay 30 seconds and then come down. That's good. Don't keep it too long. However, you want to build it up. So as you work on a headstand, it's good to have a little clock nearby. And I'm going to go and get a clock to show you how to use the clock. So I'm going to place a clock in the middle of my mat. If you put it to the side, then it can be a little bit strainful for the eyes. So as it gets easier to come up into the headstand, I'm going to interlock my hands, my fingers the other way. We'll see how to come up and down with the legs a little bit straighter. Outer arms towards each other, press the wrist down, lengthen the back of the head, press the head down, and then walk in. Now, from there, lift the shoulders, lift the sit bones up. Eventually, the more I lift my shoulders, the more the weight naturally comes off my feet. And eventually I don't have to kick up that much. I'm just lifting the shoulders to come up. Extend the legs up. Press the wrist down. Now my outer elbows is pressed down, my wrist is pressed down. And extend the legs upwards. So you can stay for a minute or so as you get started. And then again, as you come down, you can start coming down with the leg straight. You have one leg up. That top leg will move back towards the wall. the buttocks move back towards the wall a little bit so that you can come down slowly. Arms stretching. Another tip to help you come up is to use a chair. Now, as you use a chair, be careful and go slowly so that you don't hurt yourself. Now, I'm going to actually use two mats for this one, so that one mat is under my chair and another mat to be a bit more squishy for my head. If you don't have another mat, you could put like a blanket under your head to make it a little bit softer. Now, I'm going to measure my legs, and the front of the chair comes under my heels. I interlock my hands, my elbows are not too wide, my fingers are just a little bit off the floor. I lengthen the back of my neck, make a little cup with my hands. I straighten my legs. Now from there, remembering the foundation with the block, my shoulders are away from the wall and my shoulders are lifted. Now I'm going to very slowly step on the chair. Now if as you step on the chair topples back, then it's a good indication that your shoulders are not quite lifting up. If you can't do that without the chair toppling back, maybe someone could help you and hold that chair. So go slowly, don't just push the chair back, but the chair is more like a step up to lift your seat bones up. So watch carefully. I'm going to come up on my tippy toes and lift the seat bones up. I actually have a little pressure on the chair. Now, as I come onto my tippy toes, I want my seat bones to move back towards the wall. Now, without putting much pressure on the chair, I'm going to bend one leg, move it towards the wall, and then move the buttocks towards the wall. Watch, my front leg is going to come off just a little bit off the chair. But I'm not kicking up and pouncing down, because then you might hurt your shin bone. I'm just very slowly, see if I can come a little bit away from the chair. And then come down. And rest with your arms in front of you. Alright, I hope that gives you tips to learn to start getting a little bit more confident going up. Now the next video I'll talk about what to do if you can't go up into a headstand and the reasons why you might not go up into a headstand. Keep practicing.